So this is quite a detailed template for you, for you to either look at on here or you can print it off. It does have all the measurements in, so we're looking 9 centimetres by 4 centimetres, tapering up to 3 centimetres for the body, 3 centimetres by 4 centimetres for the head, 2 centimetres for the ears, the legs, 4 of them, 1 centimetre of them wants to be the hoof, about 6 centimetres wants to be the firmness, that's from here right down to the hoof, and 3 centimetres of it wants to be soft, so the whole thing is 9 centimetres altogether. Gives you a little idea there of what the facial features look like, how to attach on, the rough guide of where you want the legs to come out to, and to where the ears want positioning. You've got the ear to eye to nose ratio for the face, how to make the glasses, and also a little guide on how to stab the wool in. So the little line there means that's where you stab, as in you stab it in between the hoops and not the hoops themselves. So I hope that helps you with your tutorial. Let's get on. Hello and welcome to the tutorial to make this super cute little sheep who is knitting from her own fleece. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make this sheep using this wool, but I want you to be aware that you can use lots and lots of different colours. So even though the tutorial will show you how to attach the wool, it will be your own wool and your own choice that you will be using, but the methods are all exactly the same, and there'll be a little pattern in as well so that you can knit your own little piece on the cocktail sticks as well. So without any further ado, we'll make a start. So the first thing we're going to do is make the body of the sheep. This is going to be done just by making a sausage shape, which is a little bit fatter at one end and thinner at the other. I'm using approximately 6 grams of core wool, and I found one of the best tools to use is my own finger. And I'm just going to start by wrapping some of the core wool around my finger. Use the full length of your finger. I know some people have longer fingers than others, but we're looking at an approximate shape, an approximate length. So as long as you're wrapping it round, it shouldn't be a problem. Like that. So I'm now going to look like I've got a very sore finger, but it is staying on. It's not, I think by the end of my finger is about there, so you can see there that I've got a little bit of a shape that's fatter at the bottom and it's thinner at the end, but it is kind of keeping hold. So I'm just going to grab that like that and pulling it off with, like, making my hand into type of a pincer shape, because if I do that and try to pull it off, it'll just make the whole thing slur off. So I'm just going to grab it and then pull it off, so my finger's now free, so you can roughly see there how far my finger was on it. So just taking a single needle for now, we need to get rid of the air hole that my finger has made. So we're just going to go deeply. I'm literally going just about through the hole of the core wool, like this. Just give it a turn, nice and deep. Just making sure that you're pushing the fibres through the hole that I've created with my finger. Once you've done that a few times, making sure it's turned, then we're just going to concentrate on the thin end, the end that was at the end of my finger. And we're just going to stab the end of it, just to make sure that nothing on the inside is going to fall apart. And then this time we're just going to go down towards the end and taper it again. I'm going deeply, I'm not just doing little bits like that, because otherwise we won't be able to change the shape of the wool. As long as you keep turning it, then you'll be okay. So once I'm happy that that end isn't going to spill out, I can then just concentrate on making the rest of the body a little bit firmer. Again, I'm going very deeply, so it wants to be a nice firm shape. Notice how I always keep my finger out of the way. I don't know why I don't felt like that, but I just felt like that. I don't know where. Maybe it's because I've stabbed that finger that many times that I just learned to keep it out of the way. So once I've got that firmness there, I'm now going to go onto the bottom and making sure that your fingers are low down, and then you're not going to catch them on the way down. Then you just want to make this the base which the sheep sits. So again, I'm going deeply in, because at this point it's the structure of the wool that I want to alter, it's the shape I want to alter. I'm not really making it firm, although it is firming up a bit. I'm just altering the actual shape. So by doing this, it makes the bottom a lot fatter, and it also gives a base for the sheep to sit on. So you can see already how that's coming on. The difference between the one that's here that's finished and this one is a lot squashier than that one is. I'm putting the same pressure on here, so you can see this one doesn't indent half as much. If we do what I call the stake test, we're probably talking, if I squeeze my thumb and my middle finger together, I'm probably talking it's about that firm is the one that's finished, whereas this one is probably about that firm. So we're looking from middle finger, first finger. So at the moment it's first finger, and I'm going to tighten it up until it's as tight as this one is. So a little troubleshooting video here. When you're on the body, if you feel that when you've stabbed it you've got a bit of an indent or a narrower bit at some point, it's very easily remedied. If it's just a one dint that's not all the way around, then you're just going to simply take some core wool and you're just going to stab it into that area, and that will make the indent go away. If, on the other hand, your indent is all the way around, then quite simply just take a very fine piece of the core wool and you're going to wrap it around where that indent is and give it a good stab in, like that. Another troubleshooting video. If you find that as you're stabbing along the length of your body that it ends up too tall, sometimes you can find this happen if you use a multi-tool. The multi-tool tends to push it right in but also tries to pull it out as well, rather than the control that you have with your smaller needle. But if this happens, all you need to do is take it on its end and really squash it down, so you can see how much I'm squashing that. Be mindful of your fingers and really force those fibres so that they're being pushed deep into the rest of the body. And if you keep doing this, not only will you find yourself with a nice tight bottom, that's the sheep's bottom, but you will also find, let's see how that's done just now, there, you can also see how that has pushed it to a lot smaller shape as well. I hope that helps. So the next thing we're going to make is the sheep's head. And again, we're going to do this by just using what we have naturally, which is our finger, to start wrapping with. So for this I'm using approximately 2 grams of wool, and I'm just going to start working along the first crease of my finger, like that, just giving it a little wrap over. Obviously some of it is now working its way down to the second crease, which is fine, but for now just got it wrapped over there. I'm just going to take the second piece of wool that I've got here. I'm still only using 2 ounces altogether, but I'm working it down towards my second knuckle. So the majority of it is here. I've got some here and I've got some there as well. So you can see from that shape that this area is going to be nice and loose and this area is going to be tapered, a little bit like we did with the body. So again, I'm going to use what I call a claw, is to ease it off like that, and I'm going to use this bit, which will be this bit, to hold on to so that I can keep the shape. And again, just using a single needle, I'm just pushing it right the way through just to get rid of the air hole that my finger has made. So I'm still keeping hold of this and turning it. I'm just more holding the whole structure now I've turned it, but I've not felt in any of this bit, not just yet. Like that. Okay, so that bit's nice and firm. This bit is very loose, so because it's very loose, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to push some of these fibres, which will be at the base there of the head, just pushing some of these fibres back into what will be the back of the sheep's head. So it's still allowing this to be nice and soft, but it's making the head a little bit of a better shape. So now I know that this isn't going to come off, I can start tapering that edge now, just down to make the sheep's nose. I'll just flatten that off a little bit. This now is just more gentle stabbing because I just want to shape it. I don't want to alter the complete structure. I'm just shaping it, so I'm making a nice little nose. Now I'm just going to decide which is going to be the better piece, a better way to go for the head. I'm looking at like that. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to taper down towards the end of the nose and taper down the end of the nose this way. Just so that I'm happy with what the face will look like. And then if this is going to be the underneath bit, I'm just going to flatten that off so it'll act like the bottom of the jaw. Like that. So you can see that's the bottom of the jaw on that one. And they're a very similar shape. They're not going to be identical. I don't think anything that I make is ever identical. But I don't mind that. So that's your head. Attaching the head to the body. So this is my sample head here. This is the one that I'm using today. And all I've done is I've just pulled these fibres out. Remember where we stabbed it down there? So it should be able to pull out, so you've got a nice fluffy area to be able to attach it onto the body. So here's the body that I made earlier, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to attach it on like that, so that the head actually sits on the side. That's the top there. The top actually marries up with the top of the head, and we're going to use all this fluff here just to use it to attach the body and the head together. So I'm holding them both and I'm using the fluff. Watch your fingers. Just going to attach one side for now. Notice how I'm actually going into the top of the head as well, just to make the shape of the head and body marry together. So once I've done one side here, like that, I'm going to turn it over and do the same, just trying to get an angle that's good for me to hold and for you to see. So again, I'm just going to marry that together. Again, this is nice deep stabbing. Look how far I'm going right through. Again, I would use a single needle for this. You can use one with a holder. I do use holders sometimes. I also get a bit lazy and just pick up what I have. So you can see that that's attaching quite nicely there. I'm now just going to get rid of this fluff and stab it right in. Under the neck. At this point you can see what shape or level you want the head at. Do you want it to be looking up? Do you want it to be looking down, straight forward? So if you just hold it where you want it to go, and and you can stab in around and under the neck. If you change your mind later on, it is very easy to alter the position of the head, so don't worry too much about this at the moment. You can see there, yeah, I did just stab my finger then. My little finger got in the way. It's not bleeding. You can see there that I'm actually going from the head into the body. I'm just forcing those fibres down so that it keeps the head in a nice, straight, upright shape. There we go.